Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here to those in person and also those who are watching us live streaming. I will now ask our board secretary to establish a quorum for the record.
President Craighead,
Here.
Member Benitez,
Here.
Member Lopez,
Present.
Member Miller,
Here.
Member Otto,
Here.
and Student Member Aguilar.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. And now we have a student from Wilson High School that will lead us in the pledge. Dylan.
Can everyone please stand? Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Dylan. For those of you present in the room, the board appreciates and supports community input at our meetings. During the meeting, there will be time for the public to comment on matters on the agenda and matters not on the agenda. For those who have not already submitted a request, we have provided forms here by where the board secretary is sitting. There's Letitia. And if you wish to speak during the meeting, please fill out a form indicating your name and the agenda item you wish to address. The board has been meeting in closed session regarding matters listed on today's agenda, and there were no reportable actions taken. Now the adoption of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? How about our student representative with a preferential vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Axel. And now we have Dylan Gomez Flores from Wilson, and we're going to have you come up to the podium and tell us a little bit about yourself or what's happening at Wilson.
All right. Good afternoon. I would like to start off by saying I am greatly honored and thankful for the opportunity to represent my fellow Wilson Bruins. My name is Dylan Jose Gomez Flores. I am a distinguished scholar in the public service and leadership pathway. I am the current ASP president at Wilson High School. I have been in ASP for 3 years and have held the position as a leadership representative, rally co-chair with my dear friend Claudia Jacinto Pastarana, and most recently, junior class president. I am also the president of Hermanitos Unidos. It is a club focused on mentoring elementary and middle school students and show them the endless opportunities for success in high school. I am also vice president of X-Men, the 25 most involved senior men on campus, and we dedicate our focus towards public service. I couldn't be more blessed to kick off the 2023 to 2024 school year with football. Our students united like no other in our student sections. Although not all games were won, we sure showed other schools that our spirit is like no other. Our season also included a mixture of Poly's and Wilson's ASP. It was organized by Annette Guzman, Poly's ASP president, and myself. So far, our girls golf and girls volleyball team are more league champions. We are so incredibly proud of them. Their fierce dedication is unmatchable. Friday the 13th was our homecoming night. We held a rally right before the game dedicating our rally stage to Keith Hansen, who is a former Wilson Activities Director and then principal. He influenced many on campus and overall was a remarkable representation of what it means to be a Bruin. Later, we honored our girls track team with a rink ceremony for becoming CIF champions. We then celebrated Hispanic, Latino, and Latinx Heritage Month. With the help of teachers on campus, we kicked off the month with a mariachi in the morning before school started, and it was a huge hit. Todos bailamos juntos como si fuera la última vez. We danced together like there was no tomorrow. Students watching the staff sing and dance created a connection like no other. Alongside the governors of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Dee Okafor and Malaya Terry planned and set up the decorations honoring Hispanic culture in the front of the 1000 building. Other celebrations included the distribution of conchas, a type of pan dulce, to students, and lunchtime rallies where we line danced the caballo dorado and learned how to salsa. Saturday, October 7th at 7 p.m., 2 days before our annual homecoming week, was our homecoming dance. We completely sold out at a little over 700 tickets. We partied like never before. Later the following week, Gio Murillo, our governor of clubs, and I organized a total of 81 clubs who sold food ranging from Otter Pops all the way to In-N-Out Burgers. The Senior Senate, led by previously mentioned Claudia Cinto Pastrana, has been working on our Halloween movie night where Wilson students gathered together to watch a fall-based movie together. She has also been putting together Winter Formal, which will be hosted on March 2nd at the Annenberg Center. Our current YBS Scholars Club has been growing at an exhilarating rate. Starting off as an initial 10 members, has now over 200 students. Anaya Harper, the president of YBS, has been working on bringing back last year's hits like the Step Show, where students learned about the Divine Nine historically African-American sororities and fraternities, the Young Black Scholars Talent Show, and even their amazing barbecue. For the month of November, the Governor of Human Relations, Valeria Antillon, is preparing the organization for our yearly canned food drive. She will be setting up a friendly competition between classes to see who can donate the most amount of cans. Each year, we are able to donate about 7,000 cans to the Salvation Army. Leading into December, ASB will be hosting what we come to know as Wilson as our Reindeer Games. It is a spirit week on campus dedicating to getting students excited to all winter festivities. This hasn't even concluded our first semester here at Wilson. The pride in being a Bruin fills every nook and cranny, and at Wilson, every day is a great day to be a Bruin.
Wow. Okay, before we go on, I know. And thank you for providing these. That's going to be fun. But I'm going to ask the staff to keep them on their desk and at the dais during the rest of the meeting. Right now, okay, but later, no. So, Dylan, are there people in the audience you'd like to acknowledge or introduce?
Yes, I would like to thank Ms. Caverly, our principal at Wilson, Mrs. Fajar, our activities director, and my mom. They're all pretty much my support system for today, and really grateful they are here.
Fabulous, fabulous. Dr. Benitez.
Dylan Jose Gomez Flores, you're right. It is good to be a Bruin every day, every day. So thank you, Dylan, for your wonderful summary. I appreciate you bringing up, we just finished celebrating Latinx Heritage Month, and you mentioned an organization. I'd love to hear more about Hermanitos Unidos, so little siblings, loosely translated. Can you talk a little bit more about that program?
So this club on our campus started off during COVID. A lot of students no longer had access to communication with their teachers, and that sort of connection was lost. So it was originally a Zoom club that started with elementary school students and high school students. So we would Zoom with these kid members, and we would tutor them on any questions that they had on their subjects. And this has continued on. We still do the Zoom meetings to this day. Our next Zoom meeting is next week. And basically, we get to know the kids. We have little celebrations with them. We hit every milestone. We go over our accomplishments. We answer questions for their high school and how to pick the best school and stuff like that.
Awesome. Is this something that's at our other high schools, Dr. Camarino? Wink, wink.
Some of our schools do these clubs, but mentor the neighborhood schools around the middle and elementary schools.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Tell who your teacher sponsor is as well.
Our teacher sponsor is Mr. Herrera.
Mr. Herrera.
Yeah.
Yeah? Awesome. So I have a pitch, and I'm glad that Ms. Calverley's here. So there is a book called Mariacheros, Mitoteros y Fandangueros by Alvaro Ochoa that explores the Afro-Mestizo roots of mariachi music. So folks kind of just associate mariachi music with being Central Mexican regional folk music, but it actually has long, deep Afro-Mestizo roots. I mean, if you think about songs, I mean, I heard your perfect Spanish, Dylan. El son de la negra, right? The song of the black woman, right? So I would really encourage, as you're engaging in these cultural affirmation and festivities, and for us to think about all of the common experiences that we share with our very diverse community. So congratulations on all your work, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us. You're incredibly talented, and you're doing a lot of great things at Wilson. Just my question: what do you see yourself doing after high school?
So after high school, I see myself attending UCLA or UC Berkeley. I want to pursue a major in political science and working towards either becoming an immigration lawyer or a political advocate for immigrants.
Wow. Okay, let's see. I think we need to take a little break and have a picture. So if you don't mind coming up here,
Yeah, I got you guys.
we'll do that. Well, we always enjoy having our students present and keeping us grounded, keeping our eyes on the prize, so to speak. But we understand it's a school night. So, Dylan, you have a choice. You can either stay here with us for a while, or you can feel free to go and celebrate or be on your own time. Either way is good with us, but thank you for being here. We definitely knew that Wilson was in the house tonight. Okay, next on the agenda, we have a public hearing. So this is the time we set aside for public hearings. The subject is the Williams textbook sufficiency. We have information that is available if anybody would like it. Is there anybody who would like to speak on that issue?
I didn't get any forms.
Okay. Then we will move on. Next on the agenda, we have recognitions and acknowledgements. So I believe we have a video.
What I think makes a principal great is because a principal tries to encourage the students to do better and makes fun field trips and fun activities.
I think what makes a principal great is their leadership, like the way they talk to others and the way they really communicate with people.
I feel like the biggest thing that makes a principal great is a principal who's actually there. And I don't just mean at the school who's always in his office just cooped up like some golem. I mean like a principal who you see around campus, who's there and who's, cheering you on. A principal that goes to the award shows, who goes to the different performances we have here and actually listens and helps these students be who they are.
In my opinion, what makes a principal great is a principal that is here to hear other people's opinion and that will help our school and will provide for our school and somebody that is here to help and listen to all our students and guide them through their years of school.
I think what makes a principal great is a principal who is actually involved with the school and is willing to let students' voices be heard and make changes, but not only just the students, but as well as the teachers and staff, and make the school a safe space for everybody.
What makes a great principal is making fun activities, is keeping the school safe, and the students having a fun time in school.
And going right along with that celebration of principals, we have a resolution, and I'm going to have our student board representative, Axel, read our resolution.
Resolution of the Board of Education of the Long Beach Unified School District supporting National Principals Month. Whereas October 2023 is the National Principals Month as celebrated by the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the American Federation of School Administrators, and the National Association of Secondary School Principals, and whereas school principals are educational visionaries, instructional leaders, assessment experts, community builders, budget analysts, facility managers, special programs administrators, and uphold various legal, contractual, and policy mandates and initiatives. And whereas school principals work collaboratively with teachers to develop and maintain high academic standards and set performance goals and objectives. And whereas school principals are multipliers of good teaching, key to teacher retention, and second to only classroom instruction among all school-related factors affecting what students learn at school. And whereas school principals interact daily with students and cultivate positive working relationships with parents as well as certificated and classified staff, and whereas the Long Beach Unified School District is recognized as one of the world's leading school systems, thanks in large part to school principals who contribute immensely to a high-quality learning environment for students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of Long Beach Unified School District hereby acknowledges October 2023 as the National Principals Month and urges everyone to express their deep gratitude to school principals for their vital contributions to thousands of students. In witness of thereof, we have hereunto set our hands on this day, 18th day of October 2023.
Thank you, Axel. It is wonderful to be able to celebrate not just our principals, but teachers and everyone else. Okay, next on the agenda, we have public testimony.
Madam President?
Oh, sorry.
That's actually an action item for the resolution.
Oh, action item. Boy, I skipped right over that.
Second.
Discussion? Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Our student board member with a preferential vote?
Aye.
Then that passes 5-0 with a preferential vote. Thank you. And now we can move to public testimony. I don't see any speakers for items on the agenda, so we will go to items not listed on the agenda. We have quite a list. Each speaker gets 3 minutes. We have a total of 30 minutes for the item. So if you could wrap up or be quick, then we can squeeze everybody in. So again, we have 3 minutes per speaker, 30 minutes per total, and we will start with Joanna. Joanna Padilla.
My name's Joanna, and I'm here today to address the district and the board meeting. 3 years ago, I was here. For the same reason, I'm here again. My son, his name is Gregory Miranda, and he's been with Long Beach Unified District for the past 4 years, being a victim of bullying, which needs to be addressed. Teachers need to be held accountable, as well as the principals. My son was assaulted by 3 kids at school back in February. Not the district, staff, or nobody has bothered to help. My son's back on diapers because of this assault. School staff and school officers have not done anything. I had to personally call the police myself for the teacher to threaten my child on top of it. All this, Mrs. Ramirez, Principal Losper at Fremont Elementary, and the staff that I have on picture, on video, on cell phones while students are at recess being targeted, it needs to be overseen, because it is not fair that my family has to suffer at this moment since February, having to lose a job and let go of it to care for my child 24 hours a day. Not only that, the district has denied my son to return to Long Beach Unified because he has a constitutional right. He has a First Amendment, which gives him the right to record. And because of everything that's been happening to him in Long Beach District, we want to address this issue today in public and let you guys know that we want our child back in Long Beach Unified District with the condition of him being able to wear a camera, because of the fact that is protected by the Constitutional and the First Amendment. My son's being denied to return to school. This happened 3 years ago too, where he was found unresponsive in the playground in a coma. He's being targeted, bullied, attacked, and all the staff ever does is cover it up. So I'm here today begging the board to look into the situation, because my son, as you guys see, he's stuck in this chair since February, not being able to get the medical attention he needs. And instead of the school or the district or anybody helping, all they do is harass and call and threaten me with DCFS. So I'm here to let everybody know, you guys need to look into this matter, because I'm not the only one suffering. My child is. You guys do not see what nightmares he has of all this bullying. How many times he's been hospitalized? 3 times since February. So I'm here today begging you guys to please look into this matter, because this bullying incidents, 3 different schools, Garfield, Hudson, and Fremont Elementary, my son's been the victim, and it needs to stop. How is a parent supposed to send their child to school when the school is covering everything up instead of advocating for the child who's the victim? I thought schools are supposed to be safe.
I'm sorry, but your time is up. But we're going to make sure that we have your contact information and that somebody will get back to you. I don't know. Next, we have Gregory Miranda Jr.
Hello, my name is Gregory Miranda Jr. I'm here today to address issues in Long Beach Unified School District. I've been a victim of bullying within 3 Long Beach schools. Currently in a wheelchair due to 3 kids bullying me at Fremont in February. School staff denied me medical attention and the right to call my parents. Long Beach isn't a bully-free zone. School staff has violated my rights as well as my First Amendment right that is protected by the Constitution. Mrs. Ramirez threatened me, and I want the district to hold the 3 staff accountable. I am in fear of my life. I believe every child should be safe.
Thank you, Gregory. We believe the same thing. We believe that all our students should be safe. Thank you for being here. Next, we have Kellyanna Miller.
Good evening, Board President Craighead, board members, Superintendent Baker, staff, and community. My name is Kellyanna Miller, and I am the administrator for CSEA Long Beach Chapter 2. I'm coming before you tonight to encourage the district to participate in an amazing government program that will help our lowest paid members through the summer months. The program is called the Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program, otherwise known as CSAP. CSAP was implemented in 2018 through AB 1808 and was codified in Ed Code in 2019 and currently has a budget of $90 million. CSAP allows for up to a dollar-for-dollar match for money set aside by classified employees up to 10% of their salary to be dispersed during the summertime. To be eligible, employees must have worked for at least 1 year before applying. They must work 11 months or less and earn less than $62,400 from their regular assignment. For this current school year, over 50,000 classified members in our area are participating, and they will receive matched funds of over $12 million. Comparable districts have elected to participate in CSAP, such as Fresno Unified and San Diego Unified, as well as many of our surrounding school districts, such as Bellflower, Los Angeles, Norwalk, La Mirada, Paramount, Torrance, Compton, and Garden Grove Unified, as well as my own district, Colton Joint Unified. My own experience with this program has been wonderful. I'm a 10-month employee, and I do not work during the summer months, just like hundreds of our members here at LBUSD. Last year, I set aside 10% of my salary, which was $4,200. On June 15th, I received my $4,200. And then on July 15th, I received another $4,200. The matching funds come from CSAP and not from the district. What an amazing opportunity the district has before them to help our lowest paid classified members through the summer months and to retain and attract new employees to LBUSD. However, time is short. The district must notify classified members by January 1st, 2024 that they are planning to participate, or this opportunity will be lost for the entire year. I'm asking this board and the district to choose to make a real difference in the well-being of their classified members and participate in CSAP. Our classified members are the backbone of this district. They provide our students with their expertise and their care, and they are an integral part of helping our students succeed and to thrive. Please show our classified members that you care and will be an integral part in helping them to thrive as well. Please choose to participate in CSAP for the 2024-2025 school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Kimberly Frederick.
Good evening, President Diane Craighead, board members, Superintendent Jill Baker, staff, and community. My name is Kimberly Frederick, and I'm currently working at Madison Elementary. I have been with the district for 30 years. 25 of those years have been as an instructional aid special. I am here today to ask you to please reconsider your stand on the Summer Saver program for classified employees. I am asking for the Summer Saver program as it will help us get through the summers financially. Even with working summer school, it's still not enough to help with bills and unexpected finances. My husband had to retire at the age of 56, and that was 18 years ago. His income is fixed but minimal, and we rely on his salary to pay our bills. Having the Summer Saver program will lift a burden off our shoulders, and I'm sure others as well. Keeping a steady monthly check is vital. Thank you for your time and consideration in this to help those who need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Hank Waddles.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hank Waddles, an English teacher at Stanford Middle School. During my 33 years in this district, I've taught thousands of students, and I've built a positive reputation on my campus and in the Long Beach community. But those of us engaged in equity work often speak about spending privilege, the idea that sometimes you need to sacrifice the goodwill you've earned as you fight for change. Sometimes your reputation is the only currency you have, the only ammunition available in a never-ending battle. I stand here today ready to spend my privilege. For the past 3 years, the district has rightly engaged in a massive effort to increase awareness surrounding issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The district's efforts can be seen in the core values component of Vision 2035. Quoting from that document, "We believe that an equitable and socially just world requires that we actively understand and unlearn our biases, value and empathize with the lived experiences of others, take action to disrupt systems of oppression." But these are only words, and I'm troubled by the disconnect between those words and what we present to our students and their families. Today's kindergartners will be guided by Vision 2035, but the vast majority of them will spend time sitting in schools named after people who were opposed to the values our district promotes. John C. Fremont led 3 separate massacres, murdering more than 1,000 indigenous people here in California. Thomas Jefferson enslaved more than 600 African Americans. Woodrow Wilson screened a racist film in the White House and praised its glorification of the Ku Klux Klan. The names of all 3 men adorn schools in our district. Last month, I was called to speak to this board about the gains we've made at Stanford in support of our African American students. What we didn't discuss that morning is this disturbing bit of symmetry. There are 6 schools in our district named after African Americans, but there are also 6 schools named after men who enslaved African Americans. Of the 72 schools named after individuals, 20 of them, including my school, carry the names of problematic figures. And last school year, 22,988 students, more than a third of our district population, sat in those buildings. This is what we mean when we speak of systemic racism. There are no racists on this board, and there are no racists within the halls of district leadership, but all of us work within a system that perpetuates and honors white supremacy. If your ancestors were not enslaved, if your ancestors were not exploited, if your ancestors were not the victims of genocide, then you have the privilege of ignoring these names and the painful histories they represent. But some of us cannot do that. I cannot do that. Today, I strongly urge the board to lend action to its words and join my fight against systemic racism by creating a committee of administrators, teachers, students, and community members to take a critical look at the historical figures we currently honor and to empower that committee to make recommendations about which names should be removed. Otherwise, we cannot claim to be working to disrupt systems of oppression. We will be perpetuating a system that oppresses the marginalized students of color whom we are tasked to serve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Dorothy Dipp.
Hello, good evening. Mr. President and the board members. My name is Dorothy Dipp. I'm currently working as a IA specialized with student emotionally disturbed at Lindbergh. I've been with the with the district for 28 years, and my present here to in addition to supporting the Summer Savers program, I would like to ask the board member to consider this program for classified employees, which is thousands of us that affected by it, and myself included. And I would like this to pass so we can have some kind of financial assistance. And I myself would like to continue with my education to finish my degree. If this program had passed, I would take the summer off from work so I can go back to school and finish my degree. And thank you for your time, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Next, we have Claudia.
Hello, board members and Superintendent Jill Baker. My name is Claudia Yella. I am an employee of Long Beach Unified, and I work at Cabrillo High School as the senior ASB financial technician. I have been with Long Beach Unified for about 10 years, a little bit over. I am here representing most of the 10-month employees from Cabrillo who have asked that you please pass the summer saving program. We are asking that Long Beach Unified become part of the state program before the deadline of January 24th. We understand that the state program is offering this free money to people who save for 10-month employees. We want to take advantage of this program, but we need your support. We need you to jump on board and to apply before January. It'll help us. It says it's for employees that make less than $62,000, and we know it's hundreds of Long Beach employees that make less than $62,000. We also know that $62,000 means poverty level, and that we're having to go and do another part-time job, and in the summer looking for something to do that allows us to do it just during the summer. So if you could please help us by jumping on board before the 24th, we'd really appreciate it. Help us benefit from what the state is giving. Any free penny helps right now. Gas is high, living expenses, rent, you all know the story. But we do need the assistance. So we're hoping, and like I said, on behalf of the Gravio staff, we're hoping that this is passed through. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mitchell.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I've heard the comment already about the summer savings program, and I'm noticing that some of the members of our senior team are taking notes. Dr. Baker, is this something that we can look into? Okay.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Mitchell Stewart, and I'm the Labor Relations Representative for CSCA Long Beach Chapter 2. I'm here to talk about the Summer Saver Program. So just to reiterate, the Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program, otherwise known as CSAP, is a great opportunity for the district to provide extra pay to classified employees during their summer months without impacting the budget. This state-funded program allows qualifying 10 and 11-month classified employees the opportunity to set aside up to 10% of their paycheck during the school year and have the state match those funds up to dollar for dollar in the summer. Unfortunately, although this program has been around since 2018, the Long Beach School District has so far refused to participate in this win-win program. Last year, we sat down with Superintendent Dr. Baker to review this program and encourage participation. In response, the district brushed us off and provided the same cookie-cutter denial as they did in previous years. This year, on September 7th, 2023, we sent a letter to the district asking to meet and discuss this program. The district responded on September 8th, 2023, stating that they will provide us with dates to meet by September 18th. Today is October 18th, and we are still waiting for the district to provide us with meeting dates. On October 2nd, we requested to have the Summer Saver program placed on today's board agenda, and the district denied us our request. By now, it is clear that the district is giving us the cold shoulder, and that is why we are here today to present our request directly to the board. At this point, the Long Beach School District is falling behind. There is a ring of surrounding districts who all participate in this program, including LA Unified, Compton, Bellflower, Paramount, and Garden Grove. The districts that are most comparable to Long Beach in terms of average student daily attendance and number of classified employees, Fresno and San Diego, participate in this program as well. In fact, of the 5 largest school districts in California, LA Unified, San Diego Unified, Fresno Unified, Long Beach Unified, and Elk Grove Unified, only Long Beach does not participate. And you don't have to believe me, I got that directly from the California Department of Education website, and I provided the hyperlink there for you as well. Time is of the essence. The district must inform classified employees if it intends to participate in this program by January 1, 2024. Today, I am proud to present to you 544 petitions from our membership, which amounts to over a quarter of our entire bargaining unit, urging the district to participate. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ililani Fedestein.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, my name is Ililani Fedestein, and I am a proud classified member of CSCA, a paraprofessional at Garden Grove Unified, and a resident and voter in Long Beach, District 2. I'm also a mother of 2, and I'm here to share with you how the CSAP program has been nothing short of life-changing for me and my family. As a single mother, I've faced countless challenges in balancing my role as a school employee and providing for my daughters. The thought of an unexpected emergency has always loomed over me, but thankfully, this year has been different. The CSAP program has given me a sense of security for the very first time in all my years as a classified employee. When I received the $5,000 in matching funds, it meant that my children had the essential school supplies, clothing, and resources they needed to thrive academically and socially. It meant that I, as a mother, could breathe a little easier, focusing on my job and my children's well-being, rather than constantly worrying about the financial pressures of the back-to-school season. But it's not just about my family, it's about our entire community here in Long Beach. The CSAP is a lifeline for many and can be a program the district participates in to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of its employees. By adopting this program, you are not just helping individuals like me, you are creating a stronger, more resilient Long Beach community. I urge you to commit to participating in the CSAP program. By adopting this program, you will provide your current and future employees with a safety net, empowering them to continue their vital work here at Long Beach Unified. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Wendy. Wendy?
Board President, board members, superintendent, staff, and community. My name is Wendy Martan, and I have been an employee of Long Beach Unified for over 20 years. I'm here to discuss the Classified School Employee Summer Assistant Program. This program allows employees working 11 months or less with a great opportunity to set aside up to 10% of their paycheck and have the state match these funds. This program would benefit me immensely. As an employee of 20 plus years, I financially struggle through each summer, and I wish I had this program in the past to help me survive. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next, we have De Janeiro.
Good evening, President, Superintendent, board members, and community members and staff. My name is De Janeiro Hubbard. I have been an employee of the school district for over 20-something years and a Long Beach Poly High School graduate. I am here to speak on the California Summer Savers and Program for classified employees. About 10 years ago, I was a full-time employee or 12-month employee. Then we got the notice that our hours were reduced. Ever since then, it's been very hard to play catch up and just making it through the summer, putting children through college, and just making sure that my mortgage and everything and gas and bills are taken care of. If this program would have been around then, it would have given me a sort of safety net that I didn't have to worry about, tuition is due, where am I going to find the money to support myself and my family. As a single mother, even as a 10-month employee now, when I leave here, I go to a second job to make sure that I have money to at least sustain me during the summer months. So the Board of Education and Long Beach Unified School District, I implore you to help our classified employees. We are essential. We do the job. We go above and beyond. So at this time, please consider your classified employee. We are the best school district in the state of California. So let's just prove it and help out our classified employees. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Next, we have Emma.
Good evening. To the board, President Diane Craighead, board members, Superintendent Jill Baker, staff and community, my name is Emma Lindsay, and I'm here to talk about the Classified School Employee Summer Assistant Program. I am a 3.8-hour special education instructional aide, and I too work a second job to make ends meet. So this program with your participation would allow me to increase my income during the summer. So it's in your hands. It's in your hands, and I implore you as well, and to consider, and not only just to consider, but to make this happen for your classified employees. We need this. So, thank you.
Thank you. And we have one more speaker, Kimberly Wong.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly Wong. I'm an instruction aide for Long Beach Unified School District for over 20 years. I'm part-time, and I have seek work in a full-time capacity, but I'm always on the waiting list with LBUSD and City of LA. So I'm here today to speak on all the members of CSEA that we will benefit from this classified employee summer assistant program. For me especially, it will benefit me from that it will help me pay for my living, and I for about 2 years now that part-time employees have to pay for their own health insurance, and $344 is deducted out of my paycheck every month, and for 10 months it's over $3,000. With this money, I'm struggling every year to see where money's coming from. I also work in the summer, but it's not enough to live because the cost of living keep going up. Like the gasoline, about 2 weeks ago, for 13 gallons, I have to pay $75. And it just went down a little bit, but as you know, the cost of living is always going up. It's never gonna go down. And I understand that we have some salary increases, but not enough to offset the shortage. You know, and I know that for this program, it will benefit a lot of the part-time employees because most of us look for work for a second job to offset the shortage. So I hope that everyone will consider approving this summer program for the classified employee. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Now we will move on to the reports on superintendent advisory groups. And the superintendent has created 4 groups, including 1 or 2 board members for each group, that meets with staff before each of our board meetings so that the board members can discuss together and advise Dr. Baker of any relevant discussions that arise during these group meetings. So we will start with the Business, Budget, and Policy Development Group, and reporting out for us will be Dr. Benitez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just to remind my colleagues, our process for considering new policies for adoption is that we would receive the policies for the next board meeting before that, and that President Craighead and I would give you an update of what policies are coming down the pipeline for our consideration. So today, we wanted to give an update on 3 policies that are up for our consideration at our next board meeting. I'll start with 2 policies that are revisions. Board Policy 3553, School Nutrition Programs, which we'll receive before our next board meeting, ensures that our district is in alignment and compliance with our California Universal Meals policy, which ensures that all of our students receive free meals every day. So this is a policy that includes specific language about our participation in alignment with California Universal Meals policy. Our second policy is Board Policy 6159.1, procedural safeguards and complaints for special education. So this provides, or codifies, I should say, what the process is for any complaints related to special education. And so it will detail out what that process is to receive and to submit complaints regarding special education. And so this also will reflect an alignment with California Department of Ed code and policy. In terms of new policies, we are going to review and consider Board Policy 4112.42, drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers and other commercial licensed drivers. We currently have procedurally a process by which all bus drivers and any of our licensed drivers do go through drug policy and alcohol testing. This policy would codify that procedure for us, and that's in alignment with federal law under Department of Transportation. So we're currently doing it, we just don't have a policy that reflects it. So again, these will be included as part of our consent calendar at our next meeting. How'd I do, Wayne? Okay. Viva doesn't seem fully convinced back there. Okay. Thanks, Viva.
I see nothing but thumbs up, so that's a good sign. Next, we have the Instruction and Student Learning Supports Advisory Group, and Ms. Lopez, will you be reporting out on that one?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So in our group, we discussed the revisions to the English learner reclassification criteria. The new criteria itself is not changing, but what is changing is a threshold in one of the locally determined criterias, which is criteria 4. The recommended change is to align the SBAC and iReady measures, and this would facilitate the reclassification of EL students and align our criteria to partner districts. And last year, 5.7% of EL students were reclassified, and with the revised criteria, this number will probably increase. It's imperative that we also understand that there is a designated ELD time for addressing language needs of English learners in the classroom. In the elementary schools, it is a designated 30-minute period, and in secondary, it happens in a designated class. So that's our report.
Thank you. And then for the Student Outcome Focused Governance Group, do we have a report?
That advisory group will be meeting next week.
Okay, so we don't have a report tonight. Okay, then we will move on to...
There is one more advisory group, and that is workforce development. Don't want to skip
Eric,
Mr.
I'm so
Miller's
sorry.
opportunity.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, would you like to report on the Workforce Development Group?
I surely would. Thank you. Well, first off, I just want to make sure that I talk about what the objectives are when we meet with the HR group. And it's really looking at the science of HR, the cause and reaction, and looking at a comparison from year to year when it comes to filling open positions, et cetera. With that said, in human resources, they have hired 463 new certificated employees in 23-24. This represents a 13% decrease from the previous year, as we had 521 certificated new hires. To that, 22%, right? Once again, we're looking at the science here. 22% of our K through 12 teaching workforce is close to retirement, and 25% of our principals and assistant principals are close to retirement. That gives us a good snapshot of what our current workforce looks like in regards to filling those open positions in coming years. In terms of a succession plan, we have 195 new certificated pipeline program participants this year, with 21 classified staff members obtaining their teaching credential through our classified credential grant. A total of 27 pipeline programs for our certificated and classified staff are available to continue to grow in their leadership and development. To that, we have 32 candidates currently in our doctoral program in partnership with San Diego State. So It was quite refreshing to hear about our multiple programs preparing the filling of those upcoming holes within the school district. So it's really happy to hear that.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Okay, I'm going to cautiously move on to the consent calendar.
You forgot about Axel's report. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man. No, I'm really nervous. So before we move on with the consent calendar, I would like to mention that item 15.8, the approval of a resolution regarding the Williams textbook sufficiency. In our packet, we had been given two different resolutions because we were waiting for last-minute information. So we were given two different forms, and so tonight we will be considering the voting on the Resolution A, which indicates that the sufficiency is sufficient, has been met. Yeah, has been met. Clearly, I need assistance this evening. Yes, so that sufficiency has been met. So for item 15.8, it will be Resolution A. So we'll do that all together. So I'm going to need a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Then I will
I do
ask.
have a question actually I have a few questions. On item 15.4, the approval of revised English learner reclassification criteria. I have a few questions there. Who are the, how many long-term English learners have been in our district since kindergarten? That's like my first question. And my second question is, who are the LTELs that are the lowest performing in our school district? And how are Khmer and Spanish-speaking students performing? And then my last question is, once a student has been reclassified, what supports are we giving them?
It seems to me like maybe some of these items won't be able to be addressed tonight because that information might not be at somebody's fingertips, but I will let our superintendent
I
address
took
that.
notes on what you asked. Several of those can come in a data report that we can add on to the previous requests for LTELs, if that's what you'd like.
I was told I was going to be given the information tonight, but I do see that Mr. Camarino's not here.
Okay. I don't have it, so if he comes back in and has a report that he can offer, we'll certainly bring it in.
Okay, so I will ask the board secretary to take a roll call vote on the
I
consent.
still have a
calendar.
couple more questions.
Oh, I'm sorry, after a couple more questions.
On item 15.5, Section 1, account number 9740, what's included in the restricted fund of $47,120,461?
Sarkis, would you like to?
So I think in order to answer that, I have to give like a global response to what we're doing in this document. So what this document does is, or this section of our finance report is reports on our carryover funds from last year. So it's bringing forward balances that you guys have already approved when you approved the unaudited actuals, how we ended the year, and bringing forward what we need to in this year. This year in particular is such a large amount because, as you recall, we discussed, I think we've discussed multiple times, the state has changed the amounts in about May as to what they thought that we would be getting for our two grants, which was, I wrote them down, hold on, our Arts, Music, and Instructional Block Grant and the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. So in May, they told us that we would be getting a reduced amount. So when we closed our books, we had a reduced amount on the books. However, in June, July timeframe, when they adopted the state budget, they were actually able to give us more funds. So a majority of that 47 million is made up of those two accounts, actually bringing back up the amount of funds that the state was able to give us.
And one last question. So the resolution regarding the Williams textbook sufficiency, so we were out of compliance because of first graders at Riley Elementary School in the dual immersion program didn't have their textbooks. And so what I'm hearing, the new resolution, the books have arrived. Okay,
That is correct.
Okay, I believe we're ready for that vote to be taken.
Thank you. Member Benitez?
Aye.
President Craighead?
Aye.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Miller?
Aye.
Member Otto?
Aye.
And student member Aguilar preferential vote.
Aye.
That passes 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, we move on to item number 16, superintendent items. Dr. Baker.
Yes, before you take a vote on this item, I have one amendment to the report, the Williams lawsuit settlement report. The numbers on the report are correct. However, the total was listed incorrectly. It was essentially a typographical error. So you'll see that there is one facilities complaint that is still unresolved. And so the amendment would be on the line that reads total. There was one complaint received in this quarter. A 1 should be indicated there, and number of complaints unresolved, a 1 should also be there because it has not yet been resolved. So that is the amendment to this.
President Craighead, that's for information only. There's no vote on this one.
Thank you.
I understand that it's unresolved, but procedurally, how do we get to this? I know we have to file a report quarterly, but somebody files a complaint. Is the mere fact that it's not resolved, is there any information that's provided? Or and I wondered whether said it was a facilities report, but it was, my understanding, because I got a copy of it, was that it had to do with bathrooms at, I guess, just Poly High School. Anything?
Sure. Wayne can speak to the procedural aspect of it so that you know how the process works.
Sure. There was a complaint about the poly bathrooms, and a response was provided by Principal Salas. It was appealed by the complainant to the California Department of Education. They sent it to us for our response. That's the process we're in. We provided information. We provided, just recently, this past week, we gave them our information on the matter. They will review that and determine whether our response was sufficient. If it's not sufficient, they'll return it to us and give us 20 days to follow up.
Yeah, I didn't understand that the appeal was to the Department of Education, but that's the way the Williams Act works.
Correct.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. So that was information only?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. We will move on to item 17, new business. 17.1, adoption of resolution 101823-C, ordering a governing board member primary election, setting forth the specifications of the election order, and requesting consolidation of such elections with the primary nominating municipal elections to be held on March 5th, 2024 in the city of Long Beach.
Move to approve.
I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do have a question, Madam Chair. So I think this is your first time, Wayne, through a full election cycle with us. I'm going to sound like a broken record here to folks. Because of city charter, we spent extensive time exploring just kind of the logic, rationale of a March primary and a November general. And then we were like off cycle. So one cycle was a June, November, and now this cycle is a March, November. And so we agreed as a board at that time to let's just get through this, have the conversations with the city, make sure that our understanding of it is consistent with our election cycle and the city's charter. What I would love is to get an update, Wayne, in terms of what is our process? Like, for me, it doesn't make sense to have such a gap between the primary and November, right? I know that there's a context for this or what have you, but I'd like for us, after we consider whether we're voting, whether we're adopting this or not, I'd like for us to really look at that March, November period again, revisit our conversations with the city and any of the entities that need to be consulted on this, and then would ask you if you could sort of report back, Wayne, just to walk us through why this, what flexibility, if any, we have in this, not for this particular cycle, but moving forward.
Be happy to do that. I think a couple things. Last year there was a amendment to the charter that was voted on and approved to line things up with the city and the school district. And with presidential years and our primaries being in March, we have this elongated time period. We can certainly look at making changes to that in the future. I think one big issue is the cost of doing that, because if we have our own election, we're now paying for that full election on our own. So the cost savings of sharing the cost with the city is and the county is big. Yeah.
I do have a question regarding this resolution as well. So my question is, how often do we do this? And are we doing this because at some point the district was acting against the city charter?
No, this is done every 2 years for every election, and it's statutory.
But at some point, definitely last year, the district was acting against what the city charter.
Yeah, there was an inconsistency last year that was corrected in November, correct.
Do we have a resolution for the 2022 election?
I believe there was, yes, I wasn't here.
Can I get a copy of that?
Sure.
Thank you.
I have a question as well. I think it's a little harder, but maybe not. And that is, so if someone runs and wins outright in the primary, in March as it would, can that person at that point be sworn in immediately?
No, they'd be sworn in December.
Pardon?
They'll be sworn in December.
Yeah. Why is that?
Under state law.
Yeah. So isn't that kind of a denial of the rights of the citizens to be governed by the people that are elected or the person that's elected?
Well, I think the argument that it's not is that the citizens vote for the person, for the term that begins in December. So they voted for, if let's say candidate A, who is an incumbent, is elected in December of 2020, they elect him or her for 4 years to December 2024. And when they elect someone in March of 2024, they elect them for December 24 to December 28. It does create, and Dr. Benitez kind of alluded to this, it creates this odd situation where you've got a person who was voted out of office staying in office for another 8.5, 9 months. But at this time, that's kind of the process we have. It's within the state law, but it is awkward. I would agree with that.
And hypothetically, somebody runs unopposed and is elected, but that person isn't the incumbent. You still have to wait till December to have that person become the representative for that area.
Correct. Under election law, that's the process.
Okay. Has that been litigated?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
I believe as voters, when we get the ballots, it says when the term, when the term is, so as a voter, you know you're voting in March, but that person you're voting for won't actually take office till December. I don't know if that makes any difference.
It does, and the idea behind that, of course, is that if there's more than 2 people running for office, if there's a runoff, you're going to have that runoff then in the election in November, and so it treats all seats the same no matter what happens there. So it creates this December position.
And what was in place was that if you ran in March and you were elected, then you were sworn in and there was no need for a runoff in June, then you were sworn in July. So this is different than what was in place.
I don't recall it as that. I ran in a primary and was the majority winner, and then ran in a general the following November.
Can you clarify that? Because that was in the city charter, is that correct?
There has been an inconsistency in the practice of what was done previous to last November in the change in the charter, the city charter. And there was question about whether or not the March election, in fact, Madam Lopez was the one who made the question, or created the question, which was whether the March election was the general election. And I did ask Fred Wucher, who was a specialist in election law, to give us an opinion on that after I came on. And Mr. Wucher was of the opinion that March was the primary and June was the, June was the primary and November was the final election, and that it was done correctly. I understand, Madam Lopez, that you disagree with that, but that was what Mr. Wucher came up with, and that's what the city and county did. There were a lot of strange things, and we've corrected those things in November, right?
Yeah, and of course, this is what was in the city charter, and I'm just talking about the language that was there. And then the voters, in the aftermath, in November, voted to change that the city charter, right? So that happened in the aftermath.
Okay, I believe we're ready for a vote on that, so without any further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Our student board representative with a preferential vote?
Aye.
Thank you. That passes 5-0 with a preferential vote in the affirmative. 17.2, reopener bargaining proposals from the Teachers Association of Long Beach, K-12, and CDC Head Start.
We had a first reading of this at the last meeting?
I believe so,
We did.
yes. Yes, we've already seen this. That was the
So it's now an action
sunshine items. Yes, so I need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
For clarification, we're looking at 17.2, yes?
Yes. Yes, for clarification. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Our student board representative with a preferential vote?
Aye.
So that passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from our student representative. Item number 17.3, initial bargaining proposals from the Long Beach Unified School District to the Teachers Association of Long Beach, K-12, and CDC Head Start.
Move approval. Do we approve
Second.
this?
Discussion?
Question. So we're looking at adding additional days to the calendar, and we're considering cuts in the near future. So I'd like to know, just that rationale. If we're looking to possibly make cuts in the future and then we're adding days to the calendar, what rationale do we have for that?
You know, I think our conversation on this has to be we have to be very careful when we're discussing this because these are considered part of the negotiations. So I don't know if this is the appropriate time to get into that because what we're saying is we are allowing these items to be sunshine. So these are things that are being put on a list of items to be discussed, and we're not actually the ones discussing those particular items.
So to legal, when do we discuss these items?
I think when we come to you with a final agreement for approval.
Okay, then we'll go on with our vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Our student board representative?
Aye.
Thank you. So that passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from our student board representative. And now we are at report of board members. So Axel, will you start us off?
First off, I would like to say that Jordan High School had a very successful back-to-school night, and I would also like to commend Wilson High School for its school spirit at their homecoming game against Jordan, and their visuals, their marching band, their cheer, their student section, their ASB, their link crew. It was just all so well put together, and it was just an amazing performance from all the students, and overall it was just a great game. So I would really just like to commend Wilson High School for putting on that spectacular show. Thank you.
Thank you, Axel. And that really speaks to the quality of person you are, that you are a Jordan High School representative and you are lifting up Wilson and what they've done. And I just get a kick out of that because that shows us all the enormity of your heart and spirit. Okay, Mr. Miller.
Excuse me, I think that what I heard was that he was rubbing it in because Wilson lost the football game.
Did I miss that part? Did I not
That's not
mention
emotion.
that part? Mr. Miller.
All right. Thank you, Madam Craig. So first things first, just wanted to send a big thank you and a shout out to the CAC group in their meeting this week. So they had a meeting with Jeff Wood about the great work that's going on at Camp Oaks of High Hill. Am I saying that right? Is it? Yes. Oh, right.
High Hill at
Camp Oaks. There
yeah.
we go. All things considered, the part that I appreciated more than anything is when you think about the Long Beach Unified School District and that experience at Camp High Hill, making sure that we have created an opportunity for our students with special needs, both neurological and physical, to be able to participate in such an iconic program for the district was quite humbling. And so I was quite pleased for him to be there and to speak to some of the work that they're doing over at Camp Oaks to make sure that they make opportunities available for all students. And so that was really, really good to hear. Also, I got an opportunity to participate in Back to School Night. I was down hanging out with the Jaguars at Cabrillo, and our Jaguars, hanging out in the back there, they live in one of our toughest parts of town. And so there's a lot that they're dealing with safe passage. But one of the things that I appreciate more than anything is that their spirit's gone nowhere. They are not allowing their location to dictate their destination. And so all things considered, they had one of the best back-to-school nights that I've been to in a while, as they not only celebrated their students in a way that I thought was different in the assembly hall, and obviously spoke to Title I information, as all of our back-to-school nights do. But then they really celebrated the work in the short amount of time in regards to the arts program, and they celebrated their football team. And it was just one of those moments where I was just very, very excited to be there and was proud of just that campus in general, as I know that some of the things that they've been dealing with as a community on the west side of Long Beach. And so I was very proud of Principal Knock and her team and all the great work that they put into making a fantastic back-to-school night. And so I just wanted to make sure that I gave them a special shout-out as I was very, very impressed. And I appreciate their welcoming arms as they allowed me to be there and participate. Wanted to talk about a couple of things coming up in my district. Really quickly, most people know that there's some major construction happening at 2 campuses that are prominent in my district, both Washington and Poly. Those community meetings, technically there's 2 construction community meetings happening for Washington, one in the morning and one in the evening there on November 8th. And then there's one happening at Poly on December 4th. And so I just wanted to make sure that the community was aware. When you do major construction like that, we're talking about taking an entire campus and moving them over to another part of town, and or doing some major construction at, I'm going to tease a little bit here, as a RAM, arguably the most popular school in our district, in Poly High School. It is a big deal. So it's a big deal. And so all things considered, it's going to be important for all parties involved to be aware of the activity that's going to be occurring on that campus and the way that it's going to impact parts of our city. So all things considered, those that can attend on December 4th at the Poly High School community meeting at 6 p.m., I want to highly suggest that you be in attendance. And last but not least, one activity that I think is really, really cool that's going to be happening in our district as a whole is the School Superintendents Association is going to be in town. So they are an early learning cohort. A lot of the early childhood leaders from across the country will be here to study the best practices, and they're going to be visiting a couple of pre-K classrooms and with Educare. And so once again, as I know that we're one of the premier school districts in this state. It's great that there's going to be other folks coming to see some of the great work that we're doing here in Long Beach, and I want to thank Dr. Jill Baker for helping with that process. That's all I have.
Thank you. Dr. Benitez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So along with us recognizing our principals this month, October 18th also marks the beginning of Filipino American History Month as well, for my paisa over here, Dr. J. Camerino. So actually today marks the first recorded day that Filipino immigrants arrived on U.S. mainland. So it's no coincidence, right? So again, just a long legacy and history of contributions to the fabric of our society. Did I say the pin, ¿verdad? Jay, show it off. Jay, for the camera. Yeah. So again, props to our principals, and I'm going to give a shout out to the principals at my schools in my district. So Oropesa, Willard, Lincoln, Herrera Nieto, Edison, Franklin, Stevenson, Chavez, Whittier, and Renaissance. Big shout out to the principals in the schools in my area. Dr. Baker and I had a chance to hang out at Lincoln Elementary School. Did I say Dr. Baker had a chance to? Dr. Baker and I had a chance to. On her own, she hung out at Lincoln a couple of weekends ago in community with Principal Nemec, Ms. Hernandez, and the entire staff there, and the community partners from AOC 7, Long Beach Forward, and Days Long Beach. Put on a wonderful community building event. We had the littles doing Play-Doh workshop in one area, the older students doing some fun stuff and activities, parents engaged around resources, parent organizing, parent engagement, and some pancakes and a whole bunch of nice community building going on. So just props to the whole community for coming together now on multiple Saturdays at different schools throughout our district. Just an appreciation and gratitude to our school staff, to our community members, and to our community partners that help put these things together on Saturdays. And folks are showing up. Dr. Baker, we had a full house that day at Lincoln. Lastly, Dr. Baker, I touched on this after public comment. Is it possible to get some kind of update on the classified savings Assistant Summer Program. I do recall Mr. Zaid, either last year or the year before, gave us some background on some of the kind of structural challenges associated with that. Be wonderful if you think we can get an update on whether that's viable or not for us this time around.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's my report.
Thank you. I like that you included that part about what we heard earlier, because that's interesting. Okay, Mr. Otto.
Well, I wanted to call attention to something that somebody mentioned, or our Wilson High School student body president mentioned in his remarks, and that was that we did a dedication at Wilson last Friday night before the Wilson Jordan football game to the rally stage in the quad at Wilson High School in the name of Keith Hansen, who was a former principal and activities director at Wilson and also at Lakewood, and met his wife at Lakewood High School, and she was the superintendent of a school district in Orange County, Ocean View, and she was there and spoke at the event. That was very, very well attended, very heartfelt remarks for a lot of people that had great things to say about Keith Hansen, who had been a long time district employee, and the only thing that people couldn't understand about him was his rabid devotion to the Green Bay Packers. And but we all have foibles. So anyway, and that's my report for tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Lopez?
Yeah, I'll just be short. So I attended the back to school night at Jordan High School and just had a great time visiting classrooms and speaking with teachers and administration. I also attended Centro Shah's event honoring leaders in the Latino, Latina, Latinx community. And both evenings were wonderful. They provided an opportunity to experience all of the wonderful things happening in our schools and in our community. And then just on a whole different note, as we move forward with planning the start days for students for the 2024, 25, 25, 26 school years, I'd like to remind LBUSD that many of our schools are still without AC. And we need to address this problem because, in my opinion, fans are not the answer, and August is a very hot month. And the earlier that students and teachers return to school, the greater the need to reconsider battery-generated portable AC units for our schools that have no AC. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I would like to congratulate McBride's Engineering Academy and Criminal Justice and Investigation Academy. Both received their second four-year linked learning gold certification. Linked learning pathways offer our students work-based learning experiences aligned with their classes and provide support services to help students graduate ready for entry into college and career. And also congratulations to Browning High School for their silver certification from the Linked Learning Alliance for the hospitality and culinary arts pathway. And I'd like to thank Lakewood High School Principal Mona Merlot. She hosted myself and Lakewood City Council member Jeff Wood. She gave us a tour of the construction areas, so there's a lot of finished projects that we took a look at. We saw the gym, which has been redone. It's beautiful. The floor, the sunlight coming in over here. The gym is beautiful. The weight room had some work done. New field at Lakewood. Even some of the bungalow areas were upgraded, so they look very nice. And under construction currently, and I think the last phase of construction at Lakewood is the softball field area and aquatic center, where that's going to be going in. So a lot of good stuff happening around the district. And just Thank you to our principals in general. I know that they put in so much time and effort. When you walk campuses with principals and they're saying hello to the students and acknowledging everybody, it's so heartwarming. And I know that the demands on time for principals is incredible. I honestly don't know how they do everything with managing email on top of managing their schools during the day. I know they get there early. I remember visiting with Ronnie Coleman when she was principal at Jordan, and she talked about how she got up at 4:30 in the morning just so she had some quiet time to prepare for the day. And we know, especially with high school principals, they are there morning, noon, and night. There is something going on every night of the week. There are things going on the weekends. Our principals are dedicated and committed to our students, so thank you so much. Superintendent's report,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Baker.
I'll start just by amplifying the sentiments about National Principal Month. This is an opportunity for us to express our deep gratitude for the work of principals, and I appreciate, first of all, you did an excellent job, Axel, in reading that long resolution. As part of it, it names the fact that principals are shown, based on research, to be the second most influential factor around student achievement. So let us pause and think about them as multipliers of the good work of teachers, and the person who is second in terms of influencing student outcomes. So just really appreciate our principals and glad that you're taking the time to recognize them. I thought tonight I would feature just a few things from the Career Pathways Office, our business engagement folks, and just a few things that you might want to know are going on. We often hear about internships in summer, but our business engagement office is part of creating internship experiences throughout the year. And so recently they have shared that 7 of our students from Jordan, McBride, Pauley, and Wilson in the medical pathways are participating in a fall internship in collaboration with Memorial Care's Long Beach Medical Center and Miller Children's and Women's Hospital. Some of the departments they're assigned to include blood donor, child life, neonatal intensive care unit, and neurodiagnostics. And so our students are out in the community just experiencing things like Axel may be able to speak to that are much beyond what a lot of people think of as just a classroom experience. So just wonderful for those experiences for our students. Also from the Business Engagement Office, Cabrillo launches a Spanish guest speaker series. They have kicked off their Spanish guest speaker series with Eva Melgarejo of New American Funding. She spoke to a class of students whose primary language is Spanish about her education and career journey in finance. I'll also put a call out to our community. If you are a Spanish speaker and would like to speak about your professional work, you can contact Maria Zapian, Cabrillo's Business Partnership Specialist at Cabrillo High School. And then lastly, I'd just like to share about a wonderful upcoming opportunity that also involves our student board member. On Thursday, October 26th, from 5 to 7:30 at Jordan High School, which I understand is a busy night at Jordan High School. It will be followed by a football game. But first, at Jordan High School, the showing of a Sundance Award winner film, Radical, that is based on a true story. Not only is this a free opportunity, it will have a discussion that follows the screening that will be moderated by our own student board member, Axel Aguilar. So Thursday, yes. A beautiful story. The film will be presented in Spanish with English subtitles, and then a discussion to follow before you go to the football game at Jordan. So Thursday, October 26th from 5 to 7:30 in the beautiful Jordan High School auditorium. And we invite those who would like to come to be a part of that and to stay for the discussion.
So Dr. Baker, this is what will get our Latino families out to see this movie. It stars Eugenio Derbez. So if you all know who Eugenio Derbez is, we're going to have a packed house that night, Dr. Baker.
Yeah, great. So thanks for amplifying that. I appreciate it. And that's my report for tonight, President Craighead.
Thank you. Well, that concludes the business for tonight's meeting. Our next regular business meeting is Wednesday, November 1st. And I now declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.